this over here.
Real talk. USA. Hey, Raider Nation, I got to start out. Shout outs to Raider. Hey, shout outs to USA beating Iran 1-0. USA, let's go. But look, this ain't a soccer podcast. We're here to talk about some football. With always, we got Dustin. We got my boy Nikolai Bonds stepping in with us today. Nikolai, what's up, good? What's up, guy? What's up?
What's up, man? What's up? How's everybody doing today?
Man, feeling good, feeling great. We are coming off a big win, another walk-off victory. Josh Jacobs, 86-yarder to the house. They said he didn't have breakaway speed. Josh Jacobs said, hold on, let me go out there with a busted calf and put the team on my back in Seattle. Derek Sharper, home of it.
It almost makes you not trust the injury report, though, man. Like, calf injury? That boy was running a little good for a calf injury. I've hurt my calf, I'm a little older than Josh Jacobs, but, that calf injury didn't look too much. That man hit that Madden turbo button and was just...
Dude,
I'll tell you what, topped out at 20.63 miles an hour, and he was moving.
Nice. That's besides Josh, though, can we give a little love to Zamir? He doesn't get touches, but you saw when he was getting touches. And that's not even just go to Zamir. I know our offensive line gets hit a lot on the year. Granted, they're not great, but when it came to putting our running backs, giving them the lanes, keeping Derek upright, offensive line did their thing. Because if Zamir's running like that, that's just a beautiful thing to see for the future. Josh deserves his money. I hope we give it to him, But at the end of the day, to see what Zamir was able to do with that line as well, beautiful thing all around from our running game and interior linemen.
Yeah, I was really excited. I was actually really impressed with Zamir White and what he was able to do. I was kind of down on him earlier in the season. Just, every time he got in, he kind of just got stalwarted at the line. Looks like the line was putting together some good holes for him. He was able to read those holes and get some positive yardage. So that's what you want to see. You want to see guys go in there and get positive yardage when they go in for a spell. When you're that number 2, number 3 back, that's what you want to see. You don't want to see your number 2, number 3 back get stuffed. And that's a good thing to have when you have a stable of running backs that are able to get positive yardage. Amir Abdullah stepped up. He's been great in the passing game. Everybody's had questions about, what's going to happen with Jalen Richard gone. Well, we have an answer. Amir Abdullah. And he's going out there kung fu kicking people in the end zone.
I was going to say, can we get a little love on that kick? Can we get some love on that kung fu kick, man?
I will take that penalty every single time.
Every time.
If he's scoring touchdowns and he's doing a kung fu kick in the end zone.
Okay, we got to have TL out here. You know what I mean? I'll take all the celebration flags as long as we're scoring. It don't matter to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was so solid.
Shout out to the chat. I see my guy Raider Cody in there. What's up, Raider Cody? What's good? Everybody knows Raider Cody.
You want to know something crazy too? Look, Raider Nation, we know that the NFL hates us, and I'll put it. We did it to ourselves. We sued them one too many times for them to want to love us. Look, I get it. Hey, it is what it is. But I've never seen more blatant pass interference than that one on Davante Adams, and for him to still muscle that out. If you try to tell me that they didn't try to give that game away a little bit in that instance, and Davante just said, no, we're not doing this right now, because that was blatant. And I just don't know what the refs missed in that point. I understand maybe they're looking in the trenches a little bit. We were running the ball, line judge, maybe back judge wasn't focused, but come on, man. We all saw he had 2 arms groped on this man's forearm.
Yeah. I think maybe they were looking to see, maybe they were going to see if he was going to come down with it. Because if he comes down with it, I feel you, though. It doesn't matter. Penalty's a penalty. But if he comes down with it, do they need to throw the flag? You know what I mean?
Yes, you still need to throw the flag. You still throw it and allow us to decline it. Because at the end of the day, if replay review, he juggles that ball and touches out of bounds, we don't know what happens there. You always throw that flag and allow then us to decline or accept based on the outcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hey, there were some big boy catches in that game, though. I mean, besides Devontae's, you had Josh Jacobs with a big boy one-handed catch.
Dude.
You had Foster Strong Nose Moreau, is my boy Big Corey likes to say. He had a big catch in the end zone. Guys came to play, and to go into a hostile environment, and going into Seattle is almost like going into Arrowhead. It's loud, it's obnoxious. The difference is you have a lot of new fans in Seattle that are loud and obnoxious. Arrowhead, you just got a bunch of old fans that are loud and obnoxious. It's always been loud and obnoxious. It's always been
Arrowhead's gonna hate us forever. And,
exactly.
We took that victory lap. They definitely hate us now.
Yeah, we know that's confirmed. That is a confirmed fact that the victory lap happened.
Oh, we took the victory lap. I don't even know why we tried to deny it. We took the victory lap. Own it, Raider Nation.
Own that. But yeah, so this team has been frustrating because there's been so many one-score games where it could go either way. And last season we had those games where we won those games and we had so many narrow victories. This year is kind of going the other way. And one of the things that we're looking at is one-score games are hard to win. And just like Chris Jones said last week, you have one-score games that you're going to win. You have one-score games that you're going to lose. There's more losses than wins in the National Football League, right? This team is starting to find ways to win, just like we saw last year. This team's starting to put it together a little bit. They're starting to find ways to win. We see this locker room kind of starting to come together and embrace and start talking about the things that we saw Derek and Tay talking about. What are you guys seeing that I may be missing right here?
I think it's the excitement on the sidelines, man. You're finally seeing guys they're jumping around after plays. They're getting, as soon as guys are coming off the field, they're giving them the helmet slaps. That's not things you saw through the first few games of the season. Everyone was still kind of feeling it out, I feel like. And now you've got guys coming off, they're dogpiling on each other as they're coming off the field. It's good to see guys, I think, and to use words that Derek and Tay use, they're buying in, Everybody's finally, I think that switch is flipped and everybody's kind of going, okay, now we know how to win these games. They're not just giving them away anymore.
Yeah, I think that buying in is the biggest thing. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I still think Josh McDaniels does some questionable things. I'm not going to sit there and lie to you. I think Patrick Graham needs to kind of see what's going on the field and work towards his player strengths a little better, which he has done a little bit more. I believe Merrick should have always been down in the box to be on tight ends. He was our better coverage option there as opposed to Diablo and things like that. But that being said, I think, it's that buying in aspect. It's the players, though, to the point of buying in. I don't think they're necessarily always buying in on the coaches necessarily. I think they're buying into themselves a little more. The guys that are in the locker room, the 53 men in there and on the practice squad, we see what Taylor Hall's done, the practice squad players that have came in. It's like you look at what they're doing and they're starting to play for each other, and I think that's the biggest thing. We have the star power. We know this. On paper, we should be, I don't even care. People say 7-4, 6-5. We should be an 8-2 team in my book right now on paper. I don't care what anybody says. Or 8-3 even. It doesn't matter. So the whole thing, though, is players were probably pissed that Bisaccia and that crew was out and the way that they were out. I feel like they all, if we remember it, they spoke up very highly, wanted him to come back. I believe that took him for a strike. And then I truly believe that, Josh McDaniels has put the players in a little more questionable situations where they're like, do we believe in what he's doing or do we need to go out there and play? Kenny, you and I spoke about this. Yep. The last 2 weeks, the end of the game, they've just come out and play. I don't believe we all saw Derek Carr called an audible for that handoff to Josh Jacobs. They're coming out and playing at the end of the game. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think that's the most beautiful aspect of now, which might not be them buying into the coaches, but just saying, hey, we know how to do this. Let's go out and do this.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I think that, these guys, like I said, they're starting to figure out, they're starting to buy in. You saw Derek call that audible. That's one of the biggest things. One of the things that we see is Raider fans is once you start losing some games, once you start to get a losing record, you see Raider fans starting to say, hey, let's tank. Let's get a quarterback. Let's do this. Quarterback's going to change. The quarterback is going to fix all our problems. Quarterback is going to stop the defense from giving up a 17-point lead, right? And look, I know, I like Carr. You guys know that. Everybody knows that in the chat. So if you don't, maybe this isn't the pod for you to listen to, but this is what we're going to talk about here. I got a question here from Bruno4587. Tell me, how is it that people want to wish for a tank season and hate when the Raiders win, but yet are happy about the wins? Because Raider fans are unhappy. Raider fans
we're a fickle group.
We're a bipolar bunch. Like Josh Jacobs said, we are wishy-washy.
We've just been in pain for so long. They just want to see we're looking for instant gratification, you know, and like we got to stop looking for that. It's a process. Absolutely. You look at all the good quarterbacks in the league; they sat behind the great. You can go back to the '80s and see a lot of good quarterbacks sat behind the great. But at the end of the day, games are won and lost in the trenches and on defense, and that's where the Raiders have needed to focus. Our offense is competent, has most of the time always been, maybe except for Derek Carr's first year, but I don't put that on him. But like our offense is pretty competent. So it's like defense in the trenches, focus on that. Hey, this game, we were getting so much pressure up the middle of the line, and it was beautiful. Gino couldn't step up, was uncomfortable. That's the thing. Raider fans, we just hey, I'm gonna use Philadelphia slogan on this. You know, TTP, trust the process, y'all. We can't be mad. We can't try to blame things that we know is, you know, out of that person's hands. And at the end of the day, we're Raider Nation. We gotta be Raider Nation. You know, a win's a win. If you ever play sports in your life, you don't play to lose. I sure as hell never played to lose. No, I know my father never played to lose. I know a bunch of people don't play to lose. So it's like, be happy that the players are finally figuring out, hey, we are better than what we're doing, and we're going to win these games.
Absolutely.
And yes,
I think the other thing
Ivan,
that we look at.
You are right. Our DTs sure stepped up.
They did.
Nichols and Billings just wrecked it.
Yeah. And one thing about the Bay Area, and I'm still going to lump the Raiders in with the Bay Area because we are a Bay Area team still. One thing about Bay Area teams is Bay Area teams love to torture their fans. The Giants have the slogan "torture." The Warriors have tortured us for years. The Niners, they torture their team, their fan base over there. I mean, the Bay Area teams, they love to torture their fans, and that's what it is. It's a torture. It's a slow torture, and we're gluttons for punishment, and we love that. But we are going to come back every week and still root this team, rock the silver and black every single day, and come hard for them. You know what I'm saying?
I know so many people that were mad that they moved, and I was mad that they moved. I grew up going to that stadium. I grew up going to those games. You know, like that. It hurt, but like it doesn't. I'm not jumping shit because my team got a better situation. Like if you ever went to the Coliseum, if you're a Raider fan and never went to the Coliseum, and you are mad that they moved, I don't want to hear nothing because you weren't in those flooded bathrooms. You weren't in I don't want to hear nothing, bro. We needed a new stadium. Period. And besides the Raiders, Oakland needs help regardless. The Giants did private money to build their stadium. Warriors did private money to build their stadium. Mark Davis is an a-hole because he should have gave up a little bit percentage to get private money to build the Raider stadium. And we're not having this conversation of them moving, but they weren't going to do that. So like public money, I respect Oakland for not giving public money for that stadium, but yeah, it hurt too, but come on, we ain't leaving.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, no, it's like anytime somebody asks, you know, who's your football team? I say I'm a Raiders fan, not a Vegas fan, not an Oakland fan, not an LA fan. No, I am a Raiders fan. So wherever they're playing, they could move to Saudi Arabia. You know,
I want everybody to see. We don't got a name on the front of our jersey, y'all. We don't got a city on the front of our jersey, y'all. It's just black and silver. There's colors. This is all it is. As long as it's black and silver, it's Raiders.
Yes, sir. But yeah, DT stepped up. Let's talk about the DT play because
oh my god,
that's something we have all talked about. Dustin, Nikolai, you guys, we have all talked about this separately. We've all talked. Now we're going to talk about it collectively. The DTs have been the Achilles heel of this team. One of the Achilles heels of this team. They stepped up big. You know, shout out to Billing. Shout out. You know, I mean, these guys came to play.
Tillery came in the room, and I think he said something because they just said, "Hey, we're gonna play now," and I love it.
Yeah, Charger fans were laughing. Charger fans were laughing when we got Tillery. Who's laughing?
Bring him. We'll take him. If y'all have a problem with any of your players, send them to us. We'll take them. Y'all got a way better defense on paper than we do. We will fix these guys.
Don't they know that the Raiders are synonymous with taking players that were has-beens or never was, and we turn them into superstars? I mean, we've been doing this. We've been doing this since the 70s. This is what we do.
Hey, I love C-Dub. Charles Woodson won his Defensive Player of the Year in Green Bay, though. You know, but when he came back, he was still who he was. The Raiders, Chargers want to send anybody else up. We'll take 52 back. I'll take him back. I don't care what anybody says.
Send him back.
Come home, Khalil.
Yeah, come home.
Khalil.
I mean, the thing is, and like you were talking about the DT stepping up, you take Kenneth Walker, who's been just tearing things up here recently. 14 rushes for 26 yards. I mean, there's not much there.
And his long was the second rush of the game for the touchdown, right?
Yeah, 14 yards long. Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns, but you held him in check most of the game just from a defensive standpoint. You know, he wasn't really a factor. You know, short yardage, that touchdown was 14 yards right off the beginning of the game. But he didn't break off any huge chunks, especially not.
But I do think that Seattle's game plan against us was a little different because the Raiders don't have a weak run defense this year. We haven't had a weak run defense all year, maybe except for when we played Derrick Henry. But I mean, look, it's Derrick Henry. I'm not tackling him, so hey, it is what it is. But I think that the Seahawks came in with a pass-heavy plan, which honestly I would do against the Raiders too. Why wouldn't you? Our pass defense is atrocious, so I would do that as well. And hey, because of that pressure up the middle from the DTs that we're talking about, from Tillery, Billings, you know, these guys who weren't going nowhere in the beginning, the first few games of the year, are now getting that pressure. We could see Geno Smith not be able to step up in that pocket and make some of those throws. Denzel Perryman got a pick. Denzel Perryman is not a coverage linebacker.
Exactly.
But he got a pick because we were not allowing Geno Smith to step up in the pocket, to move out in the pocket. People want to talk about Chandler Jones, but one thing Chandler Jones does very well, maybe a couple times he's messed up, but he'll hold that edge very well most of the time. So if you notice, when the QB scrambles, he's scrambling to Max's side because Max is just balls to the wall, hair on fire, I'm coming after you 24/7. But Chandler will hold that edge. And when you have defensive tackles making that pressure, now Geno had nowhere to go. He couldn't go right, couldn't go left, couldn't step up. And look what happened. You make mistakes. We know our quarterback makes mistakes when that happens, so I'm sure other ones do too.
Yeah. That's not an exclusive trait.
You know what I mean? Pressure, pressure is big, but not necessarily pressure of getting there. Pressure of disrupting, that's a big thing. Patrick Mahomes is a better passer outside the pocket than he is inside the pocket.
Right.
We all know this. So if we can prevent him from getting outside the pocket, don't you think that gives us a better chance? And that's what we did to Geno. I don't care if Russell Wilson has had a bad year. Russell Wilson is still a 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback, period. Like, he's not an incompetent quarterback. But we showed our defense, even though Russell was able to throw the ball on us a little bit, he wasn't getting out of the pocket and hurting us, which I think is a big thing for us,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you've got to contain. You got to keep them contained, and if you can apply that pressure and hold your edges, I mean, they're literally, like you said, nowhere for them to go.
Nowhere, so it's up to the back seven.
It creates problems. They get hit as they're throwing. It lobs it up funny, and next thing you know, you got to pick.
You make mistakes. That's what you want to see, and that's what you're going to need to see this week. As we get into this week, we got the Chargers, and we've seen the Chargers before. We saw them.
We should have beat them week 1.
We should have beat them. Even with the 3 picks, I still think we should have beat them. I think that game was too close.
Guilty pleasure. Guilty thing. I live in San Diego, so I'm gonna let everybody know. I live in San Diego, so I deal with Charger people all day right now. My kid goes to school, and one of his friends, his dad, big Chargers fan, his car bolts everywhere. And I looked at him yesterday as I picked him up. I was like, we should have beat you week 1, right? Like you know that you didn't beat us week 1. Like, we lost that game. You didn't beat us. I just want to let you know that. So
there's too many times where we just run out of time. We're driving and we literally just run out of time.
I don't even want to say that. Penalties. I mean,
penalties kill. I mean,
last game against the Chargers.
Illuminor needs to figure it out. Illuminor needs to figure it out. I mean, it's like, how many times are you getting the same penalties? Put Thayer Munford in. I'm ready.
Rookies.
You know what I'm saying?
Play the rookies. I'm fine with the rookies playing and messing up. But
if the rookie messes up, I'm better with it.
You can't be doing this. Illuminor is killing me.
Look, I'm telling you like this. If your hairline looks like mine, you should not be making mistakes. Like, you are old enough to know that you do not make mistakes. Look, I got an Illuminor hairline. Do not make mistakes.
I got I don't care hairline. Like, this is just, we done been through it,
I will say though, in that vein, I think give a little bit of props to the O-line this week because they created a lot of protection. He was standing back there for
the middle 3 all day, except for Alex Bars. Pisses me the hell off. Alex Bars just irritates me because I'm not a lineman. I've never been a lineman in my life. I am slender, so you never see me on the line. And I even know you don't start by just turning sideways. I don't know. It just don't make sense.
You start with the base. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's
but on the run
frustrating that you
side,
trade. What are you doing?
they got it. The run side, they got it. They figure out how to
Yeah.
get off that line, mean, lower than pad leg lower. They say lowest man wins, right? Our offensive three, those three in the middle, they are getting lower than everybody else for the run game. But they're Alex Bars and Illuminor. I don't care. Maybe we need to just sub them out on passing downs. I don't care if we're tipping our hand a little bit. It don't matter to me because they're killing me.
If we got guys in there that can block, I don't care. I don't care if you tip them off, because if guys can block, guys are going to stop guys. So, I don't care. Whatever it is, they need to do something, because I think that's the biggest thing is you can't have guys that are going to be giving up, big plays, that are going to be getting penalties, that are going to be making stupid decisions when you're a veteran in this league. If you're a rookie, I'll give you
the break.
I'll give you the break. But when you keep doing it, like, look, I was real heavy on Alex Leatherwood last year because he kept messing up. But at the same time, it's like, dude's a rookie. Like, okay, I'll give
Alex
him a pass.
Leatherwood was put in a position to be that he shouldn't have been in to begin with.
Exactly.
First off, he should have been an interior lineman. He should have never been on the outside. Like that's just the first mistake we made. Secondly, he's a rookie. You've never faced NFL speed and power yet. You got to go through a whole season of it. Everybody got to go through the christening process.
Well, and you saw the jump in production too when they slid him into guard. He was instantly better when they slid him inside. So, and then trying to take him and push him back outside, you're putting the guy in a position to fail. So, I mean, they ran its course. They did what they did. They traded him off. It is what it is.
But I think what makes me more upset about Illuminor, you came from the system that our coach came from. Make it make sense, bro. You should know this by the back of your hand, eyes closed. You could have the sickest of all sick days, amnesia, and you should still be able to figure this out. You came from this system. Brandon Bolden's doing great, and I don't know why he's ever on the field besides special teams or coaching. But he knows the system. He came from it, and he's not making mistakes. It's like,
if you know the system,
come on, Illuminor. You know the system. You know what I mean? Like, that's just where you kind of lost my patience. Is you came from the same tree that our coach came from. You sat in practice with him every day. You ran first team, second team. It don't matter. You really have no excuse, man.
Yo, so I got a question here, and I already know everybody's answer, but I just want to say it collectively. Did you see Abrams got waived? Should the Raiders pick him up again? On the count of three, can we get this one? 1, 2, 3. No.
I
mean, shit.
I mean, but hold on. Wait.
Her loss.
I say no tentatively because at the end of the day, Abrams is not a starter. If Abrams wants to take a lesser role, come in maybe first down only type, first and second down only to be an extra body linebacker in the box, sure, go for it.
If he wants to show up to practice, and show up to meetings and do what he's supposed to do, then absolutely. But I don't see him doing it. We saw we this experiment is failed.
You gave a Southern boy $6 million signing bonus. What you think he was gonna do
in Las Vegas? I mean,
come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Don't you? Do we not remember the Rolando McClain experiment? Come on.
Do you not remember Jamarcus? Let's just
I was just gonna say Jamarcus.
You don't give a Southern boy that ain't had it that much money to jump. No. He's gonna jump, I promise you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw that just before we jumped on. I saw that the Packers waived Abram, and I'm like, I can already hear it. People are gonna be banging the table for him to come back, and I'm like, no, it's done.
Jonathan Abram was having a pretty, but he was not. He progressed this year from what we've seen in the past. Now I'm telling you. Would you rather have Jonathan Abram or Divine Diablo on first and second down covering Travis Kelce? I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If it comes down to it, I watched Divine Diablo get hit for 4 tugs, and the only time I've seen Jonathan Abram get hit for the tug is when he made a stupid read to try to come tackle Patrick Mahomes. So when it really comes down to like certain scenarios, I'd rather put Jonathan Abram as long as he is like, I'm going to be a Divine Diablo linebacker, safety converted to linebacker, hit that gap faster than anybody else. Cover Travis Kelce. You got Merrick over the top. Don't do nothing else. Just take a minimum paycheck.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the money.
Minimum.
Minimum $300,000. Take it for the rest of the year and have a day.
Yeah.
Like that's real though. It's like if people sit there and say, "Would you take Abram back?" I wouldn't claim him off waivers. No. But like, if he's willing to come in and fill that void. I'm not letting Travis Kelce score 4 touchdowns on us again, bro. Like I can't do it.
But that said,
I'd
rather bring in Carl Joseph. I'd rather bring Carl Joseph back if we're going to do that.
Yeah, but Jonathan Abrams was a better tackler than Carl Joseph.
He was a better tackler, but Joseph was a better cover though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, they're both not great, but one is better than the other. No, but let's look at this week. So this week we got the Chargers again. We're facing a team that we already know. We know what happens last. We know what happened last time we played in Allegiant Stadium. Justin Herbert was sitting there hoping for a time. Brandon Staley's still their coach.
Then
it's Vegas. We know he likes to gamble.
Then I ain't scared of him.
As
long as Brandon Staley's back there, I ain't scared of him.
What do you guys expect to see from this team?
I ain't scared of him. As long as Brandon Staley is their coach, I'm not worried.
But you got Justin Herbert. You got Justin Herbert, who is the greatest quarterback in the league according to everybody. You got
according to who?
According to Charger fans, all 17
the 6 Charger fans out in the parking lot.
Like I said, I'm in San Diego. I don't see none of them outside right now. Justin Herbert's nowhere. Like, to me, Chargers, good football team. On paper, they're just like us. On paper, they should be dominant. I'm going to be real with you. Their coaching doesn't scare me because their coach makes gambling decisions 24/7, so we can almost expect them to put themselves in a bad situation at some point in that game. And as long as we don't do what we did to ourselves and turn the ball over like we did, I think we're fine. Also, don't the Chargers have probably the worst run defense in the league right now? Or are they like 30?
They do.
Yeah. So, like, come on, man. I've never been worried about the Chargers after I watched how Brandon Staley handled the end of the game last year. I'm just like, you're not an NFL ready coach in my opinion, because if you done played Madden, you should have known to not call that time, not do some certain things, but it is what it is. And like on paper, we match up with the Chargers. You want to go quarterback for quarterback? I'm going to get crucified for this. If we're literally drafting, I'm drafting Derek Carr over Justin Herbert. And it's not because I think Derek Carr has a better arm than Justin Herbert. It's because I trust Derek Carr more than Justin Herbert. And there's a difference there. Justin Herbert's going to take some risks that people want Derek Carr to take. But Derek Carr, if you really look at it, he's like Alex Smith to me. And Alex Smith wasn't a bad quarterback.
Yeah, Alex Smith gets a lot of negative reaction, but this guy, he was good.
He went to the NFC Championship game, got injured. If he didn't get injured and Colin Kaepernick wasn't doing what he was doing, he would have took him to the Super Bowl that year, honestly, So they had P. Willie and Bowman and all them on defense. They were going to the Super Bowl out of the NFC that year. Nice. Yeah. So it's like I trust Carr more than Justin Herbert. Keenan Allen, Cal Bear, I love my dog, you feel me? I'll take Devontae over Keenan Allen, Mac Hollins has been doing enough to complement the other side, but I'd rather have Mike Williams over Mac Hollins. I'll never sit there and lie. Like, Mike Williams is a dog, especially on those jump balls. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And then honestly, if we're talking about paper, okay, is Joey Bosa still hurt or is he back? Is he playing?
I think he's set to come back this week, but
it's questionable.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you put Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and you put Chandler Jones, Max Crosby on paper, that should just be an even matchup. Then it's just the middle. You know what I mean? As long as the defense has been doing what they're doing, I don't see that our defense, our middle of our line, should slow down. I'm sure Tillery is going to come out with a chip on his shoulder. Denzel Perryman plays with a chip on his shoulder against the Chargers, right? So it's like, I feel like we're going to have that aggressiveness edge.
Absolutely.
The Chargers, statistically, they haven't scared me this year. Their coach, sure as hell, don't scare me. So I'll pick us over the Chargers. If you were saying the Chiefs, I'll choose the Chiefs. I'm not an ignorant Raider fan. I will say we're the underdog in that one every day. It is what it is. But we're talking about the Chargers right now. I'm not worried about the Chargers. They have proven, not just last year, but this year, that they are not a competent ran team. And that's just how I look at it.
Yeah, we look at the stats. I mean, we talk about matchups. You have Derek Carr, or you have Justin Herbert, 3,004 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 92.7 QBR. You have Derek Carr, who's got 30 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and a QBR of 92.3. So, I mean, look, we're right there.
It's negligible difference.
What's the comparison?
The big edge is you have Josh Jacobs. The Raiders have Josh Jacobs. Now, Josh is dealing with a calf injury. They're trying to figure out how they're going to go through practice. I saw a great tweet by Derek. I saw a great tweet by Derek Carr. Just let him go. Yeah, we know he's going to play for this game. We know he's going to get up for this game. This is a team that look,
couple weeks ago, everybody was counting us out. This is a team where we start looking at it, it's like, okay, we're back in the hunt. And I know we get crazy. We start talking playoffs at 4-7. I'm crazy. That's me. I'm crazy.
The AFC isn't doing what the AFC is supposed to do record wise. So the playoffs are in. But if you look at last year, didn't we go on a run to make it last year when everybody
went on a run
out?
Last year too? You know, and we get Hobbs back this week. So you get Nate Hobbs back this week. That's exciting. You get and then you start looking at what's coming back. You got Darren Waller, who should be potentially coming back in a couple weeks.
Which version of Darren Waller are we getting back though?
I want 2020 Darren Waller back. I want Darren Waller getting Todd Christensen numbers back. Look, that's what I want to see.
I feel like he just I think D Wall just like I don't know what it is. Like, okay, I'm gonna be real with you. First thing I'm gonna say about this, and it makes me like really angry about Raider fans. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean this Raider fans is I see some of the shit y'all say, excuse my language, about Darren Waller and falling off the wagon again and stuff. And like, I'm gonna say right now, stop saying that. That's not cool. We don't wish that on nobody, especially none of our own. Like, that's the first thing I'm gonna say before I go on Darren Waller, because I'm never gonna go down that road. And I've done, like I said, I've been seeing in the forums, I've seen comments, people saying stuff like that. Don't do that. We support ours regardless, period. But absolutely. Now, which version of Darren Waller do I want? Like, I just want the dog. I don't need Darren Waller to put up Devontae numbers. That's the best part about Darren Waller's situation. You don't have to. You feel me? You just don't have to. But you can, and that's beautiful. Now, I just need you to be that dog again. We haven't seen Darren Waller alligator arm some catches this year already, and I don't know what he's scared of, because I haven't seen that same Darren Waller go and moss guys and initiate contact and fight through and make contested catches. So, like, I just want to see that dog. You know what I mean? That's the D Wall that I want. Foster has been a dog. I don't expect Foster to make Darren Waller catches. You know, he's going to drop some balls, but he's been a dog. And being a dog at the tight end spot, especially for Darren Carr, is beautiful. That's his safety blanket. He's been his safety blanket his whole career. Jared Cook, like, it's been his safety blanket his whole career. So it's like, I need that dog, Darren Waller, and Hunter Renfrow, man.
Just let Hunter be Hunter.
Yeah, just let Hunter be Hunter.
Just let Hunter be Hunter.
He's been a decoy on damn near everything. And I don't know why Hunter Renfrow is running 1 yard, 2 yard routes all the time and being decoys and or running go routes. That's not what Hunter does. Run him in some pivots, run him in some sticks, get him 5 yards, let him make a linebacker and a safety look stupid, you know. But
let him hit that China route at the end zone. Let him hit the whip routes underneath.
Yeah.
Let him do it.
The only thing too, though, and maybe I'm wrong here, maybe you guys have a different opinion on this. Have you been noticing that Josh McDaniels' offense, especially on passing plays, take a long time to develop?
Yes.
Like a really long time to develop.
Yes.
You know?
It's not
I think that's why you were seeing success with it on Sunday, is because the line was holding.
Yeah.
He was standing back there for a good 2-3 seconds at least, you know, pushing.
Because you have to go through your progressions. It's not just, you know, the first or second read. They actually want him to go through his progressions and see what's exactly there.
I don't want to do that no more.
No.
Go Tom Brady. If you see that man is right open, right off the line, they're playing 12 yards
That's
back,
not Derek's game.
To him and let him run.
Yeah, that's not Derek's game. That's not his game.
Derek will do it.
No,
Derek will do it. He'll do it because that's the guy he is, but that's not his game. I'd rather see you play action, roll out of the pocket, boom.
Play
go
action
off your first
all
read,
day.
boom. You know, get the running back and ball, boom. Take the check down here. I don't care. Move the ball, and that's what we did so well under Gruden. Look, Gruden's offense was old and antiquated, but we moved the ball. If you watch the the
but I've never seen a pro style offense that you don't run the ball 25 times. That made no sense to me.
In every game, look, every game that the Raiders played in under Gruden or even under Bisaccia, every first drive the Raiders scored. Every first drive.
Yes.
You score on
and they
first
finished the
drive.
game scoring too. That's the great part. We would score on like the second to last or last possession of every game last year too. But the offense woke up last game. If we talk about what the offense did last game, they put up 576 total yards last game. The offense, even though they're slow developing, I mean, I know Josh Jacobs had 303 of them. Praise my man. But like the offense did what they were supposed to do. I'm just saying, I don't know why Josh McDaniels is having these super slow developing passing routes, because like you're just opening it up for Derek to get hit, for pressure to come, you know. And to your point, Kenny, we are such a good running team. Play action is going to be our biggest benefit in the passing game.
Well, you saw what it did on that flea flicker to Hollins. Hollins had nobody around him for
when that happened.
30 yards. You know, he was walking into the end zone.
I was so mad when I saw that play unfolding. I was like, "Why?"
Because it usually goes
more trick plays.
Yeah, well, because it usually goes the wrong way.
You can't see like 10 yards past the end of the TV. You know. Like,
if I have an all 22 and I can watch the game in all 22, then it's a different story. But when you're sitting there watching it, you know, when you're at the game, you can watch the play develop. Then it's a different story. But when you're sitting there watching it on TV, it is the scariest, most frustrating thing ever.
No,
you would have never thought I was a Raider fan. The things I was saying, I was calling for Josh McDaniels' head for about 3.5 seconds, and then I saw Matt Collins hold the ball up and was like, "All right, get a breathe."
Now you want to talk about frustrating calls? You take that 4th and inches and you turn it into 4th and 5.
I'll cuss too much. I don't want to talk about it.
How do you make that happen?
I don't want to talk. I'll cuss too much. That made me so mad. I'll cuss too much. This will get really child unfriendly real fast because, Kenny and I spoke about this. You don't even need to have Derek Carr on the field at that time. Take him off the field, put Foster to hike the ball, Josh Jacobs behind him, and push him over the line. I don't care. See, I'm gonna get loud. That was the dumbest.
You can cuss. Hey, this is a family program, but I cuss in front of my family. So if you want to cuss, you can cuss.
That was the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my whole life. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Josh McDaniels needs to give play calling to Mick Lombardi after that. Yes. I don't care. You're an idiot.
I was literally yelling at my
idiot.
TV. I was watching, yelling at my TV. I see it's 4th and inches, and there's kind of some hesitation as to what they're going to do. I'm like, nut up and just run the ball. Give Johnson his first carry of his career, get the first down. The dude's a train. The dude is a freight
massive. Dude, don't even have Derek Carr on the field. I don't care. Take him off the field. Jakob Johnson can take that hike with literally Foster Moreau on one side of him and Josh Jacobs on the other side of him, 1 inch behind him, ready to just push him forward, and it's a first down.
You just need to shove forward. That's all you need. With the get off that they were getting on that line, there's absolutely no reason they couldn't have picked that up
at all.
But look at it. It's not even that they couldn't pick that up. I understand on the 4th and 2 that little toss play worked, and that little toss play only worked because Josh Jacobs is a monster. It didn't work because it was a good play call. Let's be real.
It took forever to develop too, if you watch.
Yeah, that's the only way. So
tosses usually do.
You can run a toss play on the goal line, 4th on 1 yard to get in the end zone. I'll give you that. That works most of the time because most teams think you're just going inside. I get that on 4th and inches. Most teams think you're going inside, but if we remember, the Seahawks weren't even set up for a QB or sneak or anything up the middle. They were spread out. 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers behind them. They weren't even set up for it. And you call a toss to the strength of their defense. You need to make this whole. You need to make it make sense to me because
that's what I'm saying. Make it make sense.
That right there was possibly. That was the epitome of the Raider season. This is right there. Raider fans, let's have this conversation. That play right there is our season in a nutshell. It is not the guys on the field not being able to do what they're supposed to do. It's not the fact that we're getting blown out minus the Saints game. That was completely the Raiders.
I don't know what that was.
Whatever. But that right there, that play call, 4th and inches, run a toss to the strong set of the alignment of the defense is the epitome of what has happened to the Raider season this year.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out chat. I got my boy John Harthman. I've known this dude in the chat right here. Known this dude since I was 2 years old. We was boys since diapers. We met at daycare. That's my dog right there for life.
There you go. But do you feel me on that? That's the epitome of the Raiders season. It's not that the 11 guys on offense or defense not doing what they're supposed to do every single time. It's literally the Raiders outcoach themselves out of a win. They could somehow. I don't get it. And that's the epitome of our season. People want to be mad at Derek Carr. No. You need to be mad at the fact that we're calling tosses to the strong side of a defense on 4th and inches. That's what you need to be mad at.
Yeah, I remember I said, why the hell are we doing that here? And somebody said, ask Derek. I said, Derek doesn't call the plays.
He doesn't.
I mean, he could have audibled out of that thing and not told anybody.
He could have.
Derek, you saw that rib shot he took earlier in the game. He was not about to sit at the bottom of that pile. You take him off the field and you put one of those 265-pound skill players to just get an inch.
You pull a lineman and you put him back there, like the Chiefs used to do with Poe.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, but the fridge, wasn't that where that all started from?
Yeah.
Actually, technically, it started with the 49ers. They did it to the Bears, and then Mike Ditka held a grudge and did it back to the 49ers.
And then Fridge just did it better.
Mm-hmm. He just did it way better.
But I mean, you've had it throughout the years. You had Will Fork, you had Vrabel, you had all these guys lined up. J.J. Watt, Warren Sapp did it. Look, the Raiders used to have a great trick play with Donald Penn, and Donald Penn had what?
Lined up as a tight end.
Yeah.
Like hell,
because Donald Penn was a big boy. You didn't think Donald Penn was getting out there being all shifty, shake up, but hey, he did it.
And the thing with a big man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I was a defensive lineman. I played defensive lineman. I played running back in high school. When we get the ball, we're gonna take care of that ball because if you fuck that up, you will never see the ball again. So when the big man gets the ball, the big man is going to take care of the ball. You never see the big man fumble. You never see, except for Marshall Newhouse, but you never see the big man fumble or do anything
crazy.
Got
helicoptered. You can't give him that.
I got blocked after that play. That was the best block of Marshall Newhouse's career, is when he blocked me after I called him out on that helicopter.
Man, that though, I don't know. Okay. I say I'm not worried about Brandon Staley. If I was another team, I'd be like, I'm not worried about Josh McDaniels. That's how I feel.
Exactly.
Because you do stuff like that, and it just makes no sense.
You make dumb calls, dumb decisions. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, he doesn't have that intimidation factor.
I'm excited for this game.
Gruden, you were scared when Gruden was calling plays on fourth down. Because he was going to hit you with a play action that made sense, or he was going to QB sneak it, and or he was going to hit it with Alec, boom, hit the fullback down. Yeah. You know what I mean? But besides that,
God, I missed that.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm legit excited about this game. I know Charger fans. See, the thing that sucks is we lost week one. The Charger fans have been jawsing since week one, right? You got Charger fans in the comments. I don't care either.
Talk to me when you make it to the playoffs.
Exactly. They're not going to. This is going to be Justin Herbert's third year in a row where he's not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so,
this is what I say to Charger fans. Thank you for last year, because without y'all, we ain't there either. So thank you. And until you guys do that to us, y'all got nothing to say. You could beat us in the regular season. Talk to me when you have a playoff game with this.
Look, Raider Nation, Raiders have been known for knocking the Chargers out of the playoffs for years. Okay, we've been doing this. We've been doing this since the 80s. 1980, the wild card Raiders went on and they beat the shit out of the Chargers in the AFC Championship game. The Raiders continues to do this, and we're going to continue to do this, and we're going to beat the Chargers. I'm gonna go out on a limb right now. I'm gonna say the Raiders are going to beat the Chargers on Sunday. It's gonna be close. It'll be a close one. But I'm gonna say it's gonna be 32-27 Raiders.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those one score, 1.5 score games. Yeah,
I say 27-17 Raiders in Vegas. 27-17.
I don't know, man.
I don't think their defense stops our offense. Yeah, I don't think their defense stops our offense, and I don't think that their offense is going to do. I think our defense is starting to figure some stuff out where we can stop them. They only beat us by 5 points with our defense playing atrocious. So
yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give it 21-28.
Yeah, we didn't. Do we have a single sack against? Do we have a single sack on them last time? No. I don't believe we had a single sack. I don't believe
so.
You've got Rashawn Slater
no pressure.
Out. Yeah, no pressure
on Justin Herbert. You had Austin Eckler just doing Austin Eckler-like things, which he hasn't done all year, but apparently he wanted to do it week one. And that's really the problem. That's what beat us. And Derek Carr throwing 3 picks for no reason whatsoever. Yeah. Derek Carr-like, if that makes sense.
And we didn't run the ball that much. We didn't run the ball that much week one. So I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah, 10 times. So if you get Josh Jacobs, I'm going to break this down. If you get Josh Jacobs over 100 yards rushing, and we get him at least – we get him at least one touchdown. I believe the Raiders are Dustin. You have the stat here. When Josh has 100 yards and one touchdown. What is it?
I think we're 9-1
in his career.
9-1. Yeah,
the Raiders
are
9-1. We're 9-1 when Jacobs tops 100.
4-0 this year. We're 4-0 this year when he tops 100 yards and a touchdown. So
you go even further down than that. He goes for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think that brings it to 5-1. I think, if I remember correctly, I think it's about 5-1 or something like that.
I was there in Oakland when he did it. The last AFC West game in Oakland. I was there against the Chargers.
Game. The Charger game. Yeah,
that was a Charger game. I was beautiful. He ran that one in at the end of the game.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. That's just what it is. I mean, Chargers, y'all got 9 more wins against us before we're at 500. We still own that series. We're going to own the series. I don't think – I will say this out of respect for the players on the field. I do not think the Chargers are a bad team. I will never say that. On paper, they're a great team. Their coaching questionable.
Badly coached.
Coaching very questionable. And honestly, you know, I've always said this when it comes to the Chargers. It's hard to play when you don't really got a fan. Like, you don't got a home. I don't know. You don't got a home. I don't like. We go to LA. It's a Raider game. They come to us. It's a Raider game. You don't got a home. It's hard to win when you don't got a home. You know,
it's true.
Let's be real.
It's funny because it's true.
I respect Qualcomm. Qualcomm, y'all put up for your Chargers. Y'all 50,000, 60,000 strong for your Chargers. I respect y'all. You feel me? Y'all, since y'all moved, you have no fans. People in San Diego, like I said, I'm down here. They don't go up to those games.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're not driving to Inglewood. They just are not doing it. You know what I mean? So, like, let's be real. It's hard. I feel like it's always harder for the Chargers and going to consistently be harder until they find an identity of, like, we're Raider Nation. You could put us in Columbus, Ohio, and I promise you Raider Nation will still be there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's be real.
Look at Seattle
you clearly
last week.
couldn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, Derek was talking about it last week.
You know, you clearly can't move the Chargers 100 miles away and they follow. So, like, let's be real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a big thing. Home field advantage. And I don't think we even really have home field advantage yet in Vegas because we don't. It's not open.
No, Vegas is a tourist town.
No.
Yeah.
So, like,
it's an event.
Like home
football
but
game.
that matters. Your fans wanting to go to the game. That matters. Raider Nation travels. We go. Even if our team sucks, we're there. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, and the Chargers don't have that. So I won't be scared of the Chargers until they have better coach and a fan base that actually they need to just move them back to San Diego.
So never is what you're saying. You will never respect them.
Never.
Well, hey, guys, hate to wrap this up because we're having such a great chat, but I do got to get running. Nikolai, where can everybody find you?
Well, man, I'm simple. I'm not hidden. You know, my Nikolai Bonds on Instagram. That's all I really got is an Instagram. I don't really do Twitter or any of that stuff. I mean, but Bleacher Report, Timothy Timms, you feel me? Because I'm him. That's how I feel when it comes to this Raider talk. I love being it. You want to talk Raiders, Giants, Warriors, sports in general, I love it. But, I mean, Nikolai Bonds is all you got to do is search me up, man.
And Dustin, everybody knows where they can find you, but go ahead and let them know.
Yeah, man. Find me on Instagram at @TheRaiderWay_, you know, because obviously I can't get it without the underscore. Somebody that's account's been dead since 2016 has that one. But yeah, just make sure to hit
how much you want for it.
I know, right? I can't even get a hold of the guy. Like,
how much you want for it? Let's be realistic right now.
I even petitioned Instagram. I'm like, hey, this is a dead account. Can I get that name? And they ghosted me. Nothing. But yeah, so hit @TheRaiderWay with that underscore.
Cool. I gotta show this one video before we dip. I got this is from my guy Joey French, 12 years old. He's putting together some fire content. So we're gonna put this out here. I'm gonna share my screen. And actually, hold on, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just show this video real quick.
And I got a suggestion one time before we get to that. We ever thought about speaking to, you know, other fans that week of playing against them? I'd love to have like personally, I would love to talk to I would love to talk to a Chiefs fan on Chiefs week. Like, I would just love to, just to, you know what I mean? Like, that's one thing I will say. I watch a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of stuff like that, and I've never really seen anybody do stuff like that. You know, like two sides of the coin. We know we're Raiders, and we're gonna support Raiders all day, and I believe that there should be an episode for the Raiders only conversation. But during the week, why not have a conversation with somebody from the other side and see how they not only are viewing their team, they view our team, and they view the NFL from their point of view.
I've hopped on a few, and it's actually fun because there's somewhere, you know, it's fun because, you know, there's somewhere they can deal with the trash talk, and there's somewhere they can't deal with the trash talk. And
I'm not even gonna trash talk nobody like that.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, I did it. I hopped on the Charger Pod one time. Yeah, I hopped on the Charger Pod one time, and I didn't even really trash talk. I was just like, look, I'm gonna tell you, I troll a lot, and apparently they didn't.
King troll over there.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I'm Petty King. But let's get into this. I got to show this video.
Let's get into the video.
Let's go. Josh Jacobs with the LeBron walk-off. He just said, boom.
he Paul pierced him. He called game. I didn't call bank. I called game.
Yeah. Fellas, appreciate you guys. Hey, appreciate y'all for coming on. Everybody, until next week, we out.